Namaste Gurukulians. Hello students, welcome back. In this video, we will discuss the concepts related to exercise 1.5 of number system, chapter 1, class 9 mathematics, and the exercise, the question answer of exercise 1.5 from NCERT book. So let us begin. The first is operations on real numbers. Operations on real numbers. On real numbers. There are 3 points which are given in your NCERT book, page number 19. First point is the sum or difference of rational number and irrational number is always irrational. It means what? If I take a rational number, rational, then plus minus irrational, then the answer will be irrational. Okay? The sum or difference of rational and irrational, so answer will always be irrational. Then the product or quotient of non-zero rational numbers with irrational numbers is irrational. So if I take, second is, if I take one irrational into rational, then I will get irrational number. Okay, or irrational divided by rational, then again we will get irrational number. This is second point. Third point, if we add, subtract, multiply or divide two irrational, the result may be rational or irrational. So third is, if irrational plus minus irrational, so answer may be rational or it may be irrational. So it is not definite. It depends, it may be rational, it may be irrational. Similarly, if we take irrational into irrational, again answer may be rational or irrational. So if we divide irrational by irrational, then again answer may be rational or irrational. So what is definite? Definite is that if rational plus minus irrational is there, then answer will be irrational. If irrational multiply rational, one is irrational, one is rational number, then answer will be irrational. That is definite. That is fixed. If irrational divided by any rational or rational divided by irrational, then answer will be irrational. That is also final. But if we take both irrational numbers and if we add or subtract, then answer may be rational or it may be irrational. So it is not fixed. Sometime we get irrational and sometime we get rational. Then irrational multiply by irrational, again two irrationals are there, then again answer is not fixed, it may be rational, it may be irrational. Irrational divided by irrational, again answer is not fixed, it may be rational or it may be irrational. So these are the rules of for the operations over the real numbers, rational and irrational. Next we will see while solving exercise 1.5, we will get the examples of these rules, but these rules are to be written in your fair notebook. You must write all these points in your fair notebook. Next, which we have in this chapter is to representing any irrational number or containing radical sign, that is square root or cube root. So we have to represent them on number line. So the example is given. So we will take question number Question number 4 of exercise 1.5. Representing root x on number line. Okay. So instead of taking x, I am taking question number 4 of exercise 1.5. Exercise 1.5, question number 4. So I am representing in place of root x, root 9.3 on number line. Okay. How to represent root of 9.3 on number line? Now we'll see this. This question is to be done like construction questions. So you must have your compasses, pencil, scale, etc. with you before doing this question. So let us begin. I am going to construct the question here and the steps will be written here. Steps of construction. Okay. First thing, whatever number is given inside the square root, we will take a line segment of that much length only. So we will take a line segment, let it be AB, which is equal to 9.3 units. Okay, first step, draw a line segment AB is equal to 9.3 units. Unit you can take anything. You can take centimeter as unit, you can take inch as unit, you can take meter as unit, but in our notebook we will take centimeter, that is sufficient. Okay, so AB equal to 9.3 units and we will extend this to a point C. We will extend it to a point C such that BC is 1 unit. This must be 1 unit. 1 unit. And extend AB to a point C such that BC is equal to 1 unit. Okay. So we have extended it. Now what we have to do? Second step, we have to draw perpendicular bisector of AC. So we'll put the compass here and open it more than half of AC, draw the arcs like this. Then put the compass on C and cut these arcs. So you will get this point, let it be M. So draw perpendicular bisector of AC intersecting it at point M. Okay. So this is the perpendicular bisector and it is intersecting AC at point M. Now we have to draw a semicircle by taking M as center and radius equal to MA. Third step is to draw a semicircle with center at M and radius equal to MA. So we'll put the compasses here, bring the pencil here and we will draw a semicircle. It will reach at C. Suppose if it is not reaching at C, it is reaching at B, it means you have made a mistake. So you have to draw perpendicular bisector of AC and the semicircle must reach at A and C. Okay. Now, fourth point, fourth step, now we need to draw at this point B, we will draw a ray which is perpendicular to, it means we have to make 90-degree angle here. Here we will make 90-degree angle and we will draw a ray. So, we will draw a ray perpendicular to AC at this point. Let the name of this ray is BX and it is intersecting semicircle at point D. So draw a ray BX perpendicular to AC intersecting semicircle at point D. So it is intersecting this semicircle at point D. Okay. Next step is step number 5. Now we will draw a number line by taking 0 at B, 1 at C and so on. Like this. Now what we have to do? Draw a number line such that 0 lies on B and 1 lies on C, such that 0 lies on B and 1 lies on C. Okay. So we have to draw the number line likewise, that 0 is on B and 1 is on C and then 2, then 3, 4 and so on. So this is the number line. Now sixth step is, now we'll put the compass at B and open the compass up to D. So we have to draw an arc. Draw an arc with center at B and radius equal to BD. Radius means how much compass we have to open, it must be equal to BD. Intersecting the number line at point P. Okay. So I'll put the compass here and we'll bring the pencil here and we will draw the arc. So it will go just beyond 3. Okay. So this point will be P. 7th. So point P is nothing but this is root over 9.3. So point P is the required point, or we can say required number, root over 9.3. So this point is root over 9.3. So this way we can represent any number on number lines, the square root of any number. Suppose it is 10.5 or it is 11.3, whatever the number is. By this method we can represent any number on number line. Okay. So following these steps it was given root x. So in place of x I have taken 9.3. So we can take any number. So since the question was given in our exercise, that's why I have taken 9.3. So it can be given any number. So any number can be represented by this method on the number line. The steps will be same for all, only the number will change. Suppose it is 11.5. So we will take this as 11.5. Rest steps will be the same. Okay. So this way we can represent any number on number line. Next. So this was the representation of any real number on number line. By this method we can represent. Now we will see exercise 1.5. Any other concept is also there, then we can check. One more thing is there, rationalization of denominator. Page number 23 of your NCERT book. At the down paragraph, the paragraph under this page, last third line. When the denominator of an expression contain a term with a square root or a number under radical sign, the process of converting it to an equivalent expression whose denominator is a rational number is called rationalizing the denominator. So this concept will also come in this exercise, rationalizing the denominator. So what is that? Suppose I take 1 upon root 2. Now look at this number. This is rational number, but this is irrational number. The denominator is irrational. I want to make this denominator as rational. So the process of making denominator rational is called rationalizing the denominator. Okay. So I want to remove this root sign from denominator. So I can write this 1 upon root 2. If I multiply denominator by root 2 and numerator also by root 2, will there be any problem? So we can multiply numerator and denominator by the same number. So there will be no change mathematically. Now see, what will happen? Numerator will become root 2, but denominator will become 2. Root 2 multiply root 2 is equal to 2. Now the denominator is rational. This number can be written as this also. But here the denominator is rational and here the denominator is irrational. Number is same, value is same. So this process of converting denominator from irrational to rational, the process of converting denominator from irrational to rational is called rationalizing the denominator. And the number which we are multiplying, this number is called rationalizing factor. Rationalizing factor. So any number which is multiplied to numerator and denominator both, to convert the denominator into rational is called rationalizing factor. So here root 2 is rationalizing factor. After multiplying rationalizing factor, the denominator becomes rational, and this process is called rationalization of denominator, that is rationalizing the denominator. Now we will see the exercise. Exercise 1.5, first question. First, we have to classify whether the given number is rational or irrational. First number, 2 minus root 5, rational minus irrational. Answer will be irrational. This we have learned earlier. So this is irrational. Then we have second as 3 plus root over 23, then minus root over 23. If we open it, so 3 plus root over 23 minus root over 23, they will get cancelled. Answer is 3, and 3 is rational, so this will be rational. Next is third, 2 into root 7 divided by 7 into root 7. Root 7 cancel, it is 2 by 7. So again it is rational. Next is fourth, 1 upon root 2. The quotient of rational and irrational is always irrational, so it is irrational. Next is fifth is 2 pi. Since we know that pi is irrational number, so product of irrational into rational, it is always irrational. Okay, so this is all about question number 1. Now we'll see different parts of question number 2. Question number 2 first. We have 3 plus root 3, then into bracket 2 plus root 2. Okay, while handling the irrationals like root 3, root 2, root 5, root 7, at that time you can consider, you can think that these numbers are like variables. Suppose this is a variable, let it be x, and this is also a variable, let it be y. So these variables cannot be added because one is x, another is y, they cannot be added, but they can be multiplied. So that we'll see. Now simple method to open the brackets, we need to multiply these two numbers. So 3 multiplied by these two, we get 3 multiplied by these two, we get 6 plus 3 root 2. Now root 3 multiplied by this multiply this, we get 2 root 3, and this multiply by this, we get plus root 6. They can be multiplied, and that's it. This is the answer, nothing else. Second part we have 3 plus root 3, and second bracket we have 3 minus root 3. Here we can use the identity a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So I can use this identity a square, so it will give, this will give us a square, that is 3 square minus root 3 square. So it will be 3 square is 9 minus root 3 square is 3. So it is equal to 6. This will be the answer. Next, third part we have, root 5 plus root 2 whole squared. So we can use the identity here, a square, that is root 5 square, plus b square, that is root 2 square, plus 2 into a into b. So it can be written as, this is equal to 5 plus 2 plus 2 into root 10. Root 5 into root 2 can be multiplied, we get root 10. So it is equal to 7 plus 2 root 10. Then we will not add this 2 in 7. This is a complete different number. As I said, consider this to be x. So this is 2x, it cannot be added in 7. Then fourth part is similar to second part. A plus b, a minus b, it is given. So this way only you can do, fourth part. Then question number 3. Let us see what question number 3 is. Question number 3, recall that pi is defined as the ratio of circumference of a circle to the diameter. Third, pi is equal to C by D. This is the definition of pi, that pi is a constant and which is equal to circumference of a circle divided by the diameter of the circle. Pi is C by D. This seems to contradict the fact that pi is irrational. How will you resolve this contradiction? So by this, it looks that pi is in the form p by q. Okay. By this, it looks that pi is in the form p by q and it should be rational then, but pi is irrational. How it can be? What is the condition for rational? That any rational number is equal to p by q, where p and q both are integers and q is not equal to 0. At the same time, both must be integers, but here when we measure at the same time, c and d can never be integers. You will not find both of them to be integers. First thing. Second, while measuring, suppose this is the circumference and if I am measuring it by taking any tape or any scale, so by measuring I cannot measure it accurately, I will just measure it approximately. Suppose when I take any scale and I measure by using a scale, if I measure anything, so suppose this is 1.2 and this is 1.3. If something lies here in between, so I will just take 1.25 in between them. But the number may be 1.256, maybe 1.2567, maybe 1.25678. So we cannot measure the number exactly by using these scales or tapes. So this shows that C and D both at the same time will not be integer, first thing. Second thing, the values which we get by measuring circumference and diameter are not accurate. Okay. But when we convert pi in decimals, when we find the value of pi in decimal, then we get a value which is non-terminating and non-repeating. So the numbers which are non-terminating and non-repeating are called irrational numbers. That is why pi is irrational. Then what is, when we write pi is equal to 22 by 7, this is integer, this is also integer, then why it is not rational? This value, this statement is not correct. Pi is approximately equal to 22 by 7. Okay, this statement is correct. We use this value to solve certain questions, but this is not exact value of pi. This is approximately equal to 22 by 7, but it is not exactly equal to 22 by 7. Therefore, pi is irrational number and it is proved. Okay. Then fourth question, represent root over 9.3 on number line, which we have already done. Now we will see question number 5. Question number 5. Rationalize the denominator of the following. First part, 1 upon root 7, 1 by root 7, and we have to rationalize it. So I can write this as 1 upon root 7. I have to make this as rational number. So I am multiplying denominator by root 7, similarly multiplying numerator by root 7. So I get root 7 upon 7. So this denominator is rational. That's the answer. Next is 1 divided by root 7 minus root 6. Second part. 1 divided by root 7 minus root 6. Now, this can be rationalized. 1 upon a plus b is given, and I will multiply it by a minus b, so that the identity will become, it will become this. A plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So we have to make this identity. If a plus b is given, we will multiply by a minus b. If a minus b is given, we will multiply by a plus b to numerator as well as denominator. Now here a minus b is given, so I will write 1 upon root 7 minus root 6. I will multiply it by root 7 plus root 6, and here also root 7 plus root 6. Now see, a minus b was given, I have taken a plus b, so that a square minus b square identity can be applied over here. So this can be written as this 1 multiplied by these, so we get root 7 plus root 6 divided by a minus b, a plus b, square of root 7 minus square of root 6. So it is equal to root 7 plus root 6 divided by 7 minus 6. Root 7 square is 7, root 6 square is 6. So it is equal to root 7 plus root 6. This is the answer upon 1, because now the denominator is rationalized. Third part. What is part 3? 1 divided by root 5 plus root 3. 1 over root 5 plus root 2. Okay. Again a plus b is given. Now we will multiply by a minus b. It can be written as 1 upon root 5 plus root 2. So multiply and divide by root 5 minus root 2. A plus b is given, a minus b we have taken, so that identity can be applied. So if we are writing in denominator, we have to write in numerator also. So it will be 1 multiplied by this, so root 5 minus root 2 divided by a plus b, a minus b, a will be 2. So it is equal to root 5 minus root 2 by 3. So this will be the answer. Next, part 4. Part 4 we have. Let us see part 4. Part 4, 1 upon root 7 minus 2. 1 divided by root 7 minus 2. Again a minus b is given. We need a plus b. So it is equal to 1 upon root 7 minus 2 multiply root 7 plus 2 and root 7 plus 2 in numerator also. So we get root 7 plus 2 divided by a square minus b square. A square will be 7 minus b square will be 4. 2 square will be 4. So answer will be root 7 plus 2 divided by 3. This is the answer. So this way we can rationalize the denominator of any given number by completing the identity, this identity. If a plus b is given, multiply it by a minus b. If a minus b is given, multiply by a plus b, and convert this in the identity a square minus b square, so we can solve this. That's all from this exercise, and in the coming videos we will see the laws of exponents for the real numbers, that we'll see in next exercise 1.6. So in this video, that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.